This is Egypt, the largest Arab country in North Africa, which will soon astonish the entire world. Egypt is not just an ordinary country, it is the birthplace of civilization and the largest Arab country, which is soon to amaze the whole world. Egypt is home to ancient conspiracies and mysteries. One of these mysteries is Egypt's geography. If we look at the map of Egypt, it totals an area of 400,000 square miles, where 97% of the area is desert. Life here has always been a challenge. Even today, 90% of the region is completely empty. So how did ancient Egyptians succeed in building such powerful empires here? The answer is the mighty Nile River. This is the longest and largest thing in the world, stretching thousands of miles. Without this, perhaps the Egyptian civilization would not have survived. There is a saying that Egypt is from the Nile and the Nile is from Egypt. Even today, all of Egypt's population lives here in the north and along the banks of the Nile River. And the most fascinating thing is that Egypt is truly the only country in the entire world. The population pattern of the Nile River can clearly be seen from satellite at night. Due to this river, Egypt has always been a cultural hub despite being surrounded by the hot Sahara Desert. 30% of the Roman Empire's wheat supply came from Egypt even today. This river is Egypt's lifeline. 90% of Egypt's population lives along this river, while the remaining 10% are in areas like the Red Sea, New Valley, Matru, and Sinai. The reason for this population pattern is that 80% of Egypt's agricultural land is along the Nile River. This is why Egypt remains one of the top 5 countries in the world for producing onions, dates, and garlic. But now the problem is that Egypt's population is growing rapidly. The population of Egypt increased 8 times between 1920 and 2020. And today, in 2024, Egypt's population has crossed 110 million. And that's why Egypt is the largest Arab country in terms of population. By 2050, Egypt's population will reach 160 million. And 4% agricultural land is very little for so many people. Due to urbanization, Egypt's agricultural land is decreasing by 2% every 10 years. And if this continues, by 2050, Egypt, it will suffer from a severe famine. That's why Egypt has only 26 years to solve this problem. Even today, 50% of Egypt's food supply is imported. And these imports are a huge burden on Egypt's GDP. To address this, Egypt is building the world's largest artificial river, which will convert this 9,000 square kilometer desert into agricultural land. That's And Egypt has undertaken similar significant work in the past. Between 2015 and 2020, Egypt converted 5,000 square kilometers of desert into agricultural land. In 2021, President al-Sisi announced the New Delta Project. This project will create an artificial river through the Nile River, which will be the world's largest artificial river. It starts from Victoria and crosses northeast Africa, falling into the Mediterranean Sea. Now it is happening that water is supplied to the fields through a branch of this Nile River, which is called Rosetta Branch. This is all the wastewater that originates from the fields and eventually flows into the beautiful Mediterranean Sea. So now Egypt is creating an artificial river instead of letting this branch flow into the Mediterranean. The route of this river starts from the Rosetta Branch. And along the Mediterranean Sea's coastline, after walking for 50 kilometers, we will stop at the edge of the Nile Delta. Here, water from this river is being transported through a pipe of 10.33 meters, 64 kilometers into the desert. This will be delivered to the Al Humam water treatment plant. And here, 7.5 million cubic water will be thoroughly cleaned and treated so it can be effectively used for farming in this region once again. Similarly, from this plant, water will be supplied directly from the Nile River via pipes on the eastern side, 125 kilometers away. And thus, with the help of these 2 water supplies, this 9,000 square kilometer area, the creation of lush green will soon take place. Agricultural land will increase by up to 23%, and many crops can be grown here. And then, due to being close to the coastline, all these food supplies can also be exported easily. This project will arrange food for thousands of people. Jobs will be created for 5 million people, and Egypt will completely eliminate its dependency on food imports. Work is progressing quickly on this project. Satellite images of the construction site released in 2023. It can be seen how this project is 40% complete. In June 2023, fresh water was released here for the first time. Similarly, this can also be seen in satellite images. That circular fields have also been created in the waste of this treatment plant, where irrigation is in full speed. All in all, if work continues at this speed, in the next 2 years, this project will be completed and change Egypt's fate. But on the other hand, Egypt is making some surprising decisions. He might have to pay a heavy price for it. In 2015, the Egyptian government announced that it would change Egypt's capital from Cairo to "We will build a new city in this desert 50 kilometers away, where construction has been ongoing since 2016. But because of this investment, Egypt went into $58 billion debt. And this is where the entry has been made for the UAE. The UAE and Cairo have signed a deal according to which UAE has purchased the city of Ras Al Hikma from Egypt for $35 billion, where state-of-the-art infrastructure will be developed. Some analysts believe this will be the new Dubai of the Middle East. But on the other hand, some Egyptian analysts say this deal will... President Sisi has not only sold this city but also Egypt's sovereignty. Now Egypt will have to do what the US... On the other hand, there is significant criticism regarding Egypt's role in the Israel-Palestine war. On one hand, Egypt is working on very ambitious projects, and on the other hand, some of its decisions could bring dangerous consequences in the future. But only time will tell what the outcome of these decisions will be. Some do it for opinions in the comments.